Pure evil villains are some of the best antagonists in any form of media, whether that be in the pages of a book or the light projected from a screen. Pure evil villains just have an unmatched aura that other villains can't replicate, like a feeling of hopelessness when they show up on screen, because you know nothing good will happen when they're on screen. Most of these villains that I'm talking about have done such evil things that if I showed you half of the things they did, this video would definitely get taken down. These types of villains have some of the most horrifying, destructive, brutal, and downright most evil moments in all of fiction. Even though some of these pure evil villains might be the result of bad circumstances, at the end of the day, they're just here to cause destruction and chaos to everyone and anyone that comes across them, even their own family members. And I want to talk about a certain 3 characters that represent this idea of pure off-the-wall evil villainy the most. Starting off with one of the most evil characters ever, Season 1 Omni-Man. Now, Season 1 Omni-Man was nothing but just a pure menace since the very first episode, to destroying the Walmart Justice League all by himself, 20v1 style, to destroying the whole planet civilization just because he got trapped in another dimension, to destroying a whole entire subway by using his own son's body, to then punching him through buildings, killing countless of people, and then beating Mark half to death and calling him stupid for not joining his cause and destroying the earth. But even though he's doing all these evil things like killing a whole entire city, throughout all these situations, he's dropping these cold one-liners throughout it all. Dropping one-liners like,
I will burn this planet down before I spend another minute living among these animals.
And just roasting everyone that comes in his way and just undermining every single person on Earth and just calling them so much inferior to him. And so many other countless one-liners that many people have made countless compilations of these moments. And it also helps that he's also voiced by the amazing J.K. Simmons, who just has such a powerful voice and is really good at playing these pure menaces like how he did in Whiplash. So when you have an amazing actor like J.K. Simmons voicing Omni-Man, you know you're gonna get one of the best villains of all time when it comes to animation, when it comes to books, when it comes to movies, just in general, one of the best villains. Season 1 Omni-Man was him. Not to mention, Omni-Man in the show gave us some crazy deaths. They're straight out of Mortal Kombat type of fatalities, like to ripping out people's spines or squishing people's heads. There's so many crazy deaths Omni-Man does that you won't see in anywhere else but animation. And apparently there's works for an Invincible movie, and if they make an Invincible movie, if they go as hard as these animation deaths, I can't wait to see how crazy or how like Final Destination type of deaths they're gonna have in the live action movie. But every time Omni-Man's in an episode, you only expect greatness, to his amazing one-liners or his unmatched strength as Omni-Man. Season 1 Omni-Man is just a pure menace that we won't ever see again because of him gaining compassion in the recent season. But even though he's lost his edge, Omni-Man is still great in his own way as sort of a redemption villain. But even though Season 1 Omni-Man wasn't here for a long time, he was such a great character in his short run in Season 1 and gave us so many memorable moments that we'll never forget how iconic and we'll never forget how big of a menace Season 1 Omni-Man really was. Speaking of unstoppable forces, let's talk about Homelander, the leader of the Seven. In the show The Boys, unlike Omni-Man, where he learned compassion as the show went on, Homelander is the exact opposite. He wasn't no saint when the show started, but there was a sense of sanity at the beginning of the show, but at the current point of where we're at in the show, Homelander doesn't know what sanity is anymore. He's done some horrendous things in the show, like murdering a whole plane because he didn't want to look bad since he couldn't save everyone on that plane, to killing a protester in broad daylight and smiling afterwards that he got away with it and that people cheered for him, to making one of his own friends, the Deep, eat his own friend Timothy, which was just a crazy moment when I first watched that episode, and for the worst one yet, forcing a girl to jump off a building who was contemplating not aliving herself, and when Homelander showed up, he just practically forced her to jump off the building even though she didn't want to anymore, just because Homelander had a bad day. Which, if you haven't watched that scene, it can't be described as anything but just terrifying. To the smile he gains as the girl starts panicking and start contemplating maybe this isn't the right choice for me, as Homelander proceeds to make her jump off, which is just a terrifying situation to be in if you're just an average person in this crazy world where Homelander lives in. It really is this Homelander's world and we're just living in it. And not to mention, the scene is obviously inspired by the iconic Superman scene where he talks down a kid from not jumping off a building without using his superpowers to catch him, but just by talking to him like a normal person, which is such a powerful and iconic scene, while the Boys show twists this idea of a superhuman trying to relate to a person and twists it into a nightmare situation to perfectly represent that Homelander doesn't have the human side like Superman does. Which, at the point of the show we're at right now, there's been so many other countless crazy other things that Homelander has done that half of the things I would show you on screen would literally get this video demonetized by how gory and graphic some of these situations he puts people through by using his laser vision to mutilate mutilate bodies in such a horrifying way. But even when he's not killing people or dismantling their bodies or making people feel like oppressed by just how powerful he is still very menacing. He still has this aura that anytime he's on screen, anything can go wrong at any point in time just because of how powerful he is and just because no one can really stop him. At any moment, he can just break, and all he needs is that one little push. And you can see that anytime someone's in a room with him, they're walking on eggshells, just making sure they don't give him that one push to just go completely insane. And we see Homelander slip into becoming a complete madman throughout the show, where he has his moments where he exposes his true evil nature to the public and drops some crazy one-liners.
I don't make mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better!
But even though he's done all these crazy things, I feel like we've just scratched the surface of what he's truly capable of doing. And with this new season coming out, I can only expect so many other crazy things for him to do. Because lately, when we saw him Gen V, he showed up and we just felt the presence of him feeling completely unstoppable. And we felt like he can literally do whatever he wants. And with no one really to stop him in this world, he really does feel like a god among men. Now, the next and final character I'm going to be talking about makes Homelander and Season 1 Omni-Man seem like saints in comparison. The character I'm talking about is a character that is known by the Batman Who Laughs, who is one of the craziest yet most strategic characters in all of fiction, who is a combination of both Batman and the Joker, and with these two characters combined creates the Batman Who Laughs, who has done some of the most craziest deeds in all of fiction and of all of comic book and movie history. Deeds like making Superman murder his own family with black kryptonites, to assembling the Bat family thinking they're going to meet up with Batman, to then gunning him down, to taking out the whole Justice League for the 5th time, and then for the worst one, killing random children's parents right in front of them so they can become like Batman, and then using the Joker gas on them to turn them into Joker Robins. Any evil deed the Joker has done is now worse now that he has the resources and the intellect of Batman. We already know how brutal Joker is with all his countless acts, and I've made countless videos and so many crazy actions he's done throughout all of his history. And then to add that with Batman's resources as being a billionaire and his strength and his intellect and all his resources of his knowledge of people makes the Batman Laugh seem truly unstoppable, which makes him one of the most pure evil characters to ever exist, because he's not only wreaking havoc in his own world, but he also is going to other multiverses to cause more pain and suffering. Now, if you aren't too familiar with the Batman Who Laughs because he hasn't been in a TV show or a movie, however, he has been in Fortnite. But the Batman Who Laughs is the result of Batman finally killing the Joker after the Joker goes too far and Batman has no other choice but to kill him. In killing the Joker, Joker lets out his final Joker gas that infects Batman and slowly turns him into the Batman Who Laughs, which is just Batman but with the morals of the Joker, which is just a nightmare character for everyone to deal with. But with this change in Batman's personality, he gets this whole new looking costume with the shades of Joker's suit and Joker's iconic smile, but adds this black color and this heavy metal helmet which looks amazing. Even though some might consider this costume a little over the top and edgy, I find this suit perfect for Batman due to the fact that Joker has always been over the top, and portraying this in his suit is perfect. Plus, at the end of the day, this suit just looks cool. What other reason would you need for him to have this cool metal spiked thing across his face that is supposedly in comic lore help him see through time and space, but at the end of the day, it's just there to look cool, and for him, it's either drip or drown, and he chooses to drown. But this character at the end of the day is still very much new when it comes to comics. Like Miles Morales came out in 2011, and it took him years to finally get a movie with Into the Spider-Verse, a movie that came out in 2018, and the Batman Who Laughs' first appearance in comics was only a year before that in 2017, and his first official own comic was in 2019. So hopefully this character will make an appearance soon, whether that be on animation, whether that be in movies, or maybe even a live action movie. I can't wait to see what they do with the Batman Who Laughs when they finally put him on screen, to show the general audiences and to show the world how pure evil he really is, and show how unstoppable Batman would really be if he really did have one bad day. Even though all these villains are pure evil and have done downright horrendous things, they were most of the time more of a product of horrible circumstances, like a society brainwashing them, or to a man created in a lab with a lack of nurturing figures, to a great hero who has finally fallen due to trying to help some innocent civilians. All villains reach evil in some way, but at the end of the day, they're still pure evil. I have talked about so many other pure evil villains, whether that be in cartoons or whether that be pure mainstream, pure menaces like a Reverse Flash or like a Green Goblin or like even the original Joker. So if you like this video, go check out the other ones, and I would really appreciate it if you were to subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and your sub would very much be appreciated. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later, hater. Peace.
If that's not the way to go.